Malibu Dan. Malibu Dan. Welcome.
Life fumes.
I didn't really think about how to start this one. All I could think about was off mic, both of us just screaming "Yes, I pubes" at each other. That's all I could think about. I didn't want.
Everybody knows the song.
Yeah.
Anything you can do, I can do better.
Yeah.
Yes, I pubes. Yes, I pubes. Yes, I pubes.
No, you can't. Yes, I pubes. I can't not think about that now. It's ruined me. It's ruined the show. I didn't want to start the show by talking about "Yes, I pubes," but here we are. So
I really didn't either, but it's just too ingrained into our mental capacities right now.
yeah, we were talking about our first dates when we were kids. We were talking about not having pubes. It was like a buck wild conversation, and then we decided to hit record. So
yeah,
we brought that energy to this
course,
episode.
We're gonna say "Yes, I pubes."
Yeah, of course we're going to yell it at you, and then now that's all you're going to be able to hear, listeners, when you think about, like, things, when you think about answering questions. It's the first thing that's going to come to mind.
Yeah, it's the only thing you're going to be able to think about during this episode of Malibu Dan the Family Man.
Episode 9, Life Stuff. Episode
what
9.
A weak title.
Episode 9, Yes, I Pubes.
Yes, I pubes. Yes, I pubes. Yes, I pubes. It's a fun phrase.
It is a fun phrase, and it's not inappropriate. It's not a dirty inappropriate. I mean, it's kind of dirty, but it's not inappropriate. You could say that to somebody.
I think this is my legacy.
Yes, I pubes. Well, I mean, we're going to make a shirt that says "Yes, I pubes" on it, and we'll sell 0 versions of them. Nobody will buy a "Yes, I pubes" shirt. We'll see. The numbers will tell us.
Instead of t-shirts, we do like fake tattoos or stick-on tattoos.
Oh, that's a great idea. Yeah. Like rub-on tramp stamps or something, or stamp tramps or whatever you call them. Stamp tramps. Yeah. Or what about if we set up our Patreon for like $5, Zachariah Ty Bryant and Jonathan Taylor will record your outgoing phone message where we just say, "Yes, I pubes. You've reached Dan Marshall."
You're with your lover and you've consented to sexual relations. And,
paperwork signed, yeah.
Man or lady bends over and you see a tramp stamp that says "Yes, I pubes."
And they go, "Don't worry, it's a temporary, it's just a rub-on tattoo.
It's a podcast thing."
I love Pure Boys. The person's like, I don't know
that
what
would make my heart swell.
I don't know what to think about all of this. You're throwing a lot.
Marry me.
You are my wife now. Man or woman, doesn't matter.
Yeah, because I have one too.
Oh, yes, I pubes. You don't have that tattoo. Yes, I pubes.
Oh man, what gold! Right up top.
4 minutes of this kind of stuff. Hey, that's what the listeners are tuning in for. 4 minutes of Yes, I Pubes talk. Shut it off.
It's like the intro to Barbed Wire. You get enough.
Exactly.
In 5 minutes.
And then you get even more than you could have ever possibly wanted, to the point where you're feeling sick afterwards. It's like when I was a kid and I was at a birthday party and I ate so many Doritos that I puked everywhere, and now I can't eat Doritos anymore.
Or when you get up at 6 a.m. to record a podcast.
Yeah, and then you go, "This is our Easter special." I guess that came out 5 weeks ago at this point, so
Continuity, frick you.
That's right. Listeners, you don't even know the week we've had.
You couldn't even imagine the thoughts that have gone through our brains this week.
Well, you can imagine some of them because we opened the show by screaming them at you, so...
Yes, I pubes.
Wake up, Malibu. I'm Dan Marshall. Yes, I pubes.
He is aggressive with his wake up Malibu this episode.
Well, it's 5 a.m. He's got to yell it. He's literally trying to wake up Malibu. This is the start of the show.
Well, it's not. This time, it's like after a commercial break, and it comes back, and he's like, "Wake up, Malibu."
Is it? Because then they cut... oh, God. Then they cut to another commercial break. Like, literally says, "Wake up, Malibu. I'm Dan Marshall. And coming up next is our guest who puts scrubs on people's faces. See you after the break." It's like, well, didn't we just come back from a break? This segment was 45 seconds long.
Yeah, that surely couldn't be the beginning of the episode. Is like a 30-second intro.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, it could, and don't call me Shirley. But I think that if I had to guess, though, maybe that's like a cold open for the show. And he's like, "Wake up, Malibu, blah, 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 this and this and that." And then we get dun, 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 because I've decided that the Malibu Down the Family Man theme song is the theme song for Wake Up, Malibu.
Yeah.
It's the only thing that makes sense.
Yeah, of course it is.
Mm-hmm. So maybe it's like... Maybe that's how they launch into the actual show of Wake Up Malibu.
Yeah, but like the boom comes down, the guest storms off, and then they come back from break, and he says, "Wake up, Malibu," again.
Does he? Is that how he opens every segment? "Wake up, Malibu." I have to say it every time.
He says it so aggressively, like more aggressively than he did at the beginning of the episode or the cold open. It's very weird.
Well, he's flapped, though, at that point, because he made the guests so mad they walked off the show by asking them... Like, and in Dan's defense, well, Dan is unprofessional in this moment, but also 100% correct, because the guest on the show makes facial scrubs made out of sand, and Dan is like, wouldn't that hurt people? And she's like, "How dare you? Just because I've cleared up 3 lawsuits and I have 3 more lawsuits on the books for myself, doesn't mean that this is a dangerous product. I'm storming off the set." And it's like, well, that's probably good.
Yeah, Dan doesn't let it go. He's like, "Wouldn't that rub off your face?"
Yeah, they put sand in sandpaper, so wouldn't that rub off your face? And I don't know if that's true. I don't know if sandpaper does have sand in it. I'm not sure. I don't think it does. How would that work?
I think the original sandpaper did.
Oh, back in like 2,000 years ago when Jesus Christ was a carpenter.
Yeah, once they had like horse glue and then they put a bunch of sand on it, and then that was their sandpaper.
That's the original sandpaper. Somebody chopped a chunk of horse skin off, and while it was still bloody and wet, they accidentally dropped it on sand, and they went, "Oh, wait a minute, this could actually work as a good facial scrub."
Yeah, it was beautiful. It was like a beautiful mind.
It was like a beautiful mind. You're right. That's what the movie's based on, the invention of sandpaper.
Yeah, I think sand would be just an ingredient in one of her facial scrubs. Like, it's not just sand.
Yeah, but sure. Yeah, it's not just sand. I mean, we don't know, though, because we never see the product. So maybe it is just a tub of sand that she's...
Maybe it is.
Like, it's lotion with sand dumped into it.
Or just sand.
And you just rub it, you scoop it out of the container and just rub your face with it. I mean, it would work. Like, it would exfoliate you, and it would, like, probably make your skin feel raw.
Young?
Oh, yeah, we went different ways with that, but yeah.
Raw, young, rejuvenated.
That's right.
Synonyms.
That's what they have on the package. Raw, young, rejuvenated. Your face. Oh, okay.
That would sell.
I'd buy it. It's just a bucket of sand. It weighs 48 pounds. It's heavy. It's really heavy, this bucket of sand you have to rub on your face.
Yeah, you got to pay a lot for shipping.
And she scoops it right off the beach, so sometimes there's broken beer bottles and syringes in it and like crab shells. Like, you never know what you're going to find. Crayfish, all kinds of stuff in there.
Yeah, she's not going to the good beach for the sand.
No, she's going to the beaches of Malibu where heroin addicts live. Well, so Dan chases the guest away, and which, like, Arlen is like, "Great show today." It's like, well, that's not true. Like, it was the show started with 20 minutes of talking about parallel parking. That's almost as bad as opening your 30-minute podcast by talking about pubes for 5 minutes. It's almost as big of a sin.
Arlen says he smells a Peabody Award, and I don't think he knows what that means.
No, I don't think. I think he's just smelling his own clothes from last night.
Yeah. And I got a real bugaboo with Reggie on this one, because he says he can't get exciting guests, or he needs exciting guests, but where is Slitherachi?
Yeah, bring him back. Give him a residency.
Yeah, you want an exciting guest? You have it.
Yeah, a piano-playing snake. What more could you ask for? Make him the new host. Fire Holiday St. Clair.
Or have, like, Nicole slide into every single scene.
I really like that. I thought that was a great shot where she just slid into the scene. Like, slid, like, 3 feet.
Yeah. It's an impressive slide. Like, that socks on a piece of Berber. I don't know what slide.
Berber?
Yeah, Berber's rough, isn't it?
I don't know what Berber is. I don't think...
You don't know what Berber is?
I don't think Berber is a thing.
Audience, if you know what Berber is, email us at pureboyspod@gmail.com.
Send your Berber pictures to @pureboyspod on Twitter. Let us know.
Done.
She's like recreating... Exactly. Risky business. That's what she's recreating.
Berber business.
Ooh, Berber babies. All right. So...
You really want to get off the Berber talk, eh?
Well, I feel like we've exhausted... our audience. We've exhausted the listener on this one.
Yeah, maybe. Or maybe they're coming along for the ride.
5 more minutes. Give us more Berber. Hey, Berber. I still don't think Berber is a thing, but...
No, you were right. We exhausted Berber.
You're right. I'm sorry. So, but like... Why is Reggie so concerned about like the caliber of guests when it's Nicole's job to book those guests? She's the talent coordinator. He's the advertising guy. Nobody cares what's on the show. Just advertise.
It's true. If he can sell, he can sell. He's apparently, the Slitherachi of selling. So
yeah, he's a snake in people's clothing.
He is a snake man. I think we'll find that out in the finale.
Ooh. Just the episode ends with him ripping off his face and going, I was Slitherachi the whole time.
As Slitherachi does. He is the devil.
He is the devil. We've established that already in an episode that has come out at this point. So
exactly.
Finally, this Wake Up Malibu gets like the drubbing it deserves because everyone starts dumping on the show. Like the whole crew of the show starts hating on it, talking about they don't have any audience at 5 a.m. Nobody cares about their show. Of course, who would?
Yeah.
Like it's 5 a.m.
Yeah, everybody's starting to wake up, Malibu.
Exactly. Thank you. That's great. Nicole quits. She just quits the show, and then that's not really resolved ever. She's just kind of back later on. Like, it's just like, I quit the show. Next day, hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back.
Yeah. She flips out on a guest. She doesn't flip out on a guest. But she's just there still.
Yeah, she's just back.
She doesn't leave.
Yeah, which makes the whole... I never thought I'd say this before about a Malibu Down episode, or since, but... This episode should have been a 2-parter. I think there was enough meat on its bones for 2 episodes. And the fact that they have to rush it all together makes the back half of the episode very bizarre and like very rushed and confusing. So, which is how we'll present it on this show. Very rushed and confused.
So they're back at the house, and Kate is organizing a carpool, doing her life stuff.
Yeah, boring old life stuff. Also,
Dan's, roughed up by his job.
Yeah, his life is fricked.
Yeah, they both want to complain, and they think their life is harder.
Like, everyone sounds like they're going to quit Wake Up Malibu, and it really sounds like the show could end, in which case Dan is in trouble because he's like, he would lose his job, and then they would be a 0-income house. I thought Kate had a job up until this point.
Yeah, like at least like a job at the library, like sorting books or something.
Yeah, or like she made candles or something. Like she had like some kind of like Etsy business or something like that. Like she made like what would you call it? Like nipple pasties that have pictures of people's nipples on them or something like that. Some kind of home business,
Yeah, some kind of home business, like making eraser bracelets or something.
Yeah, taking big erasers and then cutting them down into smaller erasers.
Yeah, and putting them on Etsy.
Exactly. Just a weird nitpick of mine. The establishing shot of home is clearly at nighttime, and then when they're inside the house, there's just bright sunlight streaming in all the windows and doors, just bright, middle of the day, high noon sunlight.
Did you notice the mic rubbing up against Dan's clothing?
I noticed that. Scene? I noticed that every time anyone is doing anything, every time in these episodes, every character's mic rubs all the time. It's so distracting.
Hey, production company, download Audacity and send the audio through a freaking filter.
Exactly. Also, if there's any like brain scientists out there, write into me and tell me if I'm autistic or not, because I'm convinced like these sounds and these little details drive me crazy. And what's going on in my brain?
I think you're artistic, because
thank you.
It just does not happen in other productions. You don't hear it ever, so it's so aggressively in your face. The only time you hear these noises is if you go to like a high school play or something.
Exactly. Yeah. And so when you're just hearing like anytime anyone is talking, it's so distracting. Tighten it up. And here's the thing. It's not going to get better, because Malibu Dan, the Family Man Reloaded, isn't a real show. So it's not like things are going to upgrade next season, because there is no next season. Ugh.
Are you still thinking about that? Were you praying on it last night?
Yeah, I was praying on it all night. And I was like, send me Deliverance on DVD. Tell me what to do, God. He didn't. David liked our tweet, but he didn't respond to our question. So we have no answers and don't even know if he saw it. He didn't even acknowledge it. He just liked it and went, fine. Or the person who runs his Twitter liked it. He's not verified, so I'm guessing he runs it himself. I don't know.
Yeah, we don't have any answers to anybody's questions. We know you have them. Stop emailing us.
Yeah. Our Twitter followers finally listened to our show, and now they don't follow us anymore. So
maybe we should reach out to an audience that would like our show. Or no?
No, I think we need to just keep trying to shove this round peg into a square hole and get in with the Christian crowd, even though our show is decidedly not Christian. And it's very much taking the piss out of these things.
I think we're Christian as frick.
Well, we don't curse, so we got that going for us. And
heck no, we don't.
Other than that,
we let out a couple in our first episodes.
Yeah. The first 3 episodes are very adult, and then we tune it in hardcore by episode 4, and then these episodes have all been squeaky clean. I'm pretty sure. Other than I said piss earlier and pubes and stuff like that, but whatever, it's fine.
P words are excommunicado.
Exactly. So Dan's upset about his job because, quite frankly, it sounds like he might lose it. And Kate is like stressed out because she had to plan carpools and do boring life stuff. And so Dan is like, well, your life, my job is way harder than your job, because your job's not a real job. It's just life stuff. And those are his exact words. And Kate takes offense to that. I mean, rightfully so, like based on what we find in the rest of the episode. So she puts it out there to Dan. She goes, hey, how about this? Why don't we switch jobs for a day? Which I don't think you can do that, but fine. I don't think you can just come in and run a TV show. Like I don't think Bam Wallets would be okay with that, but fine. And
I think Malibu Broadcasting is fine with it.
You're probably right. Well, clearly they love Kate when she does the job. So who knows, right?
She's the best.
Yeah. So Dan agrees. He's like, sure, I'll run the house for a day, and you can go do my job for a day, which, yeah, okay. Based on like what we see about Dan's job, Kate's right. Like, your job's pretty easy, bro. Like it's not a hard job, and Kate's job is like, if you're a responsible adult, Kate's job isn't a hard job either. Like, it's just clean the house and cook, and like that's taxing work, but like if you're a responsible adult, you can handle those kind of things, right?
Both of them should be quite doable, but I mean, making dinner should be a thing you can do, or at least acquiring dinner.
Yeah, like, so Dan spends his day doing Kate's work. So he immediately is like a boomer and is like, hey, Emily, think of me as Mr. Mom. And it's like, well, why can't I just think of you as dad? Like, why can't dad do this work as well? Nope, this is mom's work. That's what a mom does. She cooks and cleans. Then the men go out and they make the TV shows and they make the money.
Yeah, why isn't it Mr. Person?
Why isn't it Person Mom?
And he comes in with color-bled clothes, a bunch of pink clothing that he fricked up in the laundry.
Comes in from outside. Where's your laundry room?
I think it might be in the garage.
He was just scrubbing them in a wash bin in the backyard.
Yeah, they can't afford a real washing machine.
No. And
crazy?
If that's how Kate has to do the laundry, then Kate's job is automatically harder than Dan's job. If she has to get out there and use a washboard and scrub it, that's harder. That's way harder.
That's why we see clothing everywhere in a disproportionate amount of scenes.
Mm-hmm. Because she just walks in and throws it all over the place.
I don't know how to organize.
That's a man's work. Organizing is a man's work.
It's a man's world.
So he can't do the laundry. He throws the reds in with the whites and it stains all Emily's clothes pink. And she's like, oh, that's fine. I like pink clothes. And he's like, ha, score
also,
one for dad.
Color bleeding is not a thing anymore. You can put whites in with
no, that's not true.
Reds.
No, you can't. It is definitely still a thing. My wife's got a couple of white shirts that'll tell you otherwise.
Well, asked and proven wrong.
Well, I guess here's the thing, though. I have some, I'm about to brag here. I have some vintage shirts that are from, the 70s or something like that. So maybe modern clothes don't bleed, but older clothes still bleed. You know what I mean?
Is true.
I mean, as Alice Cooper said, only women bleed. So who knows what the correct answer is here.
You have a lot of crucifixion shirts, and that I do praise you for.
Yeah, I have more than you. One. And I got a lot of crucifixion tattoos under my eyes, too. And in the middle of my forehead.
Machi.
Hey, modern day rappers. So also Dan can't cook. He burns chicken so bad that it's smoldering the entire scene, which is impressive.
Yeah, those potatoes look moldy somehow.
I think that's a zucchini. I think that's just a zucchini that he cut into slices and then burned beyond recognition.
Do you like to do zucchini once in a while?
Yeah, I'm a zucchini man. I like a zucchini. I like a zucchini noodle. That's really nice.
I'm not into the noodle as much.
Well, frick you then, man. Why would you ask me you sandbag me with these questions?
That's true. I really roped you into it. And
are you
hooked in?
Do you how do you and your wife balance things out in the house? Do you do any of the cooking or do you cleaning or what do you like to cook? Because I like to cook.
Yeah, I'd say it's probably half and half.
Nice.
I like to cut up that zucchini in half, put a little canola oil and just some salt and pepper, shove it into the oven. Ooh wee.
Do you skin it? Do you peel it first, or do you just shove it in raw dog like that?
Raw dog it. I love that skin. That's where all the vitamins are.
That's true. That is where all the vitamins are. So
pinch, pinch, pinch.
Take note, wheelchair dad from Facing the Giants. Don't peel your apples.
Yeah.
Maybe if you ate more apple skins, you could walk. How's that sound, bud? Come at me.
How about you? Do you do cooking, or is that wife's work?
I pretty much do all the cooking. I like it. I never cooked before, but now that I have somebody to cook for, I really like doing it. So it's like an enjoyable, kind of relaxing thing to do most nights. Some nights I'm like, frick this, let's just get McDonald's. But most nights, I like cooking. It's a good time.
Cooking for somebody else and yourself is way more enjoyable than just cooking for yourself. It just seems like a waste when you make like a decent meal.
Right? And like I saw someone on Twitter point out like how big of a scam is it to cook for like an hour and a half for 10 minutes of eating? What a ripoff that is. And they go, you have to enjoy the process. You have to like cutting up the carrots and doing all the whole thing is fun. And if you don't like it, then you're going to hate it. You're going to be like, just give me bread. I don't care.
Yeah, put on a podcast or some music and just have a fun time with it.
Exactly. Listen to Pure Boys while you cook.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Do it.
Go to Apple Podcasts, write a review, 5 stars. We love this show. Do it.
Wake up, Malibu.
Wake up. Dan destroys the kitchen somehow. He breaks the handle off the dishwasher. He breaks 4 plates. He breaks a light switch. How did you get to this point in your life, Dan? How did you survive college or like that time between when you left your mommy and daddy's house to when you met and married Kate? How did you survive that period of time? You're a bumbling oaf from the looks of it.
Yeah, you're a mongoloid when it comes to the home stuff. And this light switch isn't just like scratched or something. It is mangled.
It looks like it was melted. Like it's like warped. Yeah. Like, how did that happen? How did you break the handle off the dishwasher? That's impressive. You used it once, presumably, and you broke the handle off of it. You're not allowed to touch any. Well, I guess we saw him try to repair the sink in like the second episode, and he just like ripped it out of it. Like he destroyed the kitchen. So
I feel like these people grow up with like somebody else doing all this stuff for them their whole lives, and then they get married, and then they do it for them.
Yeah, that's true.
Sometimes you got to put in the work.
Kate is super late coming home from Dan's job. And then when she gets home, she's like, Arlen offered me a job. And Dan's like, oh, okay. And then Dan gives her this garbage. He goes, I have an apology to make. I came by the studio today and you were great. Well, that's not an apology, Dan. That doesn't count. You totally disrespected your wife at the start of the episode. And then you should say, I'm sorry. But saying, I have an apology is not the same as apologizing. Those are different things.
How hot did Kate look in that poster of
Man,
her and the,
it looked like a different person. She had like brown hair. Yeah. It was like a weird image. But yeah, 10 out of 10 for that, for sure.
Yeah, that poster was lit.
Like, no wonder Arlen kept staring at it.
Yeah. He couldn't leave the room. Like, he was just, like, glued to that poster.
Oh, yeah. Here comes the glue, if you know what I'm saying.
Doo-doo-doo-doo. Here comes the glue.
So then this is where the episode gets really weird, because Kate gets a job at Wake Up Malibu that at first looks like Nicole's old job, but then Nicole is back doing her job, and Kate, like, screws it all up, I guess. Like, I don't understand what happens. So much happens in this last 5 minutes, and that's why I'm saying it needs to be a 2-parter. You need to establish, like, what Kate is doing at the job. Otherwise, it's just like, well, what is Kate's job? And she screwed it up because she wrote a new contract for the guests that say that there might be a nuclear war while they're on the show? Like, what? Nobody vetted that?
Nobody, because, well, Kate was doing such a good job, they just let her do what she wants.
True.
But, like, Kate was talking to the guest and was like, hey, there might be a nuclear flood.
Also, did you notice in the staff room that there's now a smaller dartboard under the other dartboard? What is that? Doubling down on a bad idea.
I can't believe that I missed it. Out of all the things that I've missed in this series, I am shook.
I feel like I don't look at the actors. I just look at the background constantly. I'm always looking at what's on the whiteboard. I'm looking at everything behind them all the time.
I was looking at that stupid whiteboard and didn't get anything out of it, and I missed the double dartboard.
Yeah.
Oh my god, we could have done a tight 20 on that for
I
sure.
know. Well, anyway, it just has to be relegated to the last 2 minutes of the episode, so there it is.
Yeah.
But everyone hates Kate. Like, everyone hates her at this job. And so everyone, one by one, all the crew of Wake Up Malibu comes to Dan and is like complaining and threatening to quit. And one by one, Dan goes, but I like you and I like working with you. And they go, all right, I won't quit my job. And then after that, Kate goes, wow, your job is really hard. And it's like, no, it's not. All he said was, I like you. I like working with you. Don't quit. And they went, okay. That's it. That's his job.
Yeah. He uses a very calm, steady voice to tell them that they should just do better.
Mm-hmm. And so based on Dan having decent people skills, Kate decides, you know what? My place is in the kitchen. I need to go home and never try to work a job ever again. Goodbye, Malibu. I'm out of here.
Yeah. And that's the end of the episode.
Well, she gets fired. Arlen's like, you're friggin' fired. And she's like, thank you. Thank you for releasing me from my bondage. Now I can go back to the kitchen where I belong. Oh, dreams are coming true.
And then Holiday fires her from the fake job that was never created.
Yeah, Holiday's a real non-entity in this episode.
I think in this whole series so far, has she really done anything but piss on the guests?
Both literally and figuratively, yeah.
Yeah, those scenes were dark.
Oh yeah, dark. You know what I'm saying? And then there's no bloopers on this one. So this one wasn't a fun one to make from the looks of it because there's no bloopers. Nobody had a good time making this episode.
I can't wait till, we're going to review the blooper special, right?
Yeah, of course we're going to watch the blooper series. Maybe that's the second season, Malibu Down the Family Man bloopers, and then it's just a whole bunch of new episodes that are just weird. It's like when they made Anchorman, and then they had so much extra improv footage, they made a second Anchorman movie. Maybe that's what that other series is.
I've never seen that movie.
It sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, because it's not a movie. It's just improv that they threw together. And let's be honest, improv kind of sucks. So suck it, improv
true.
people.
Unless it's in podcast form.
Yes, and unless it's Whose Line Is It Anyway and it's scenes from a hat, then it's great. That's all I care about.
Yeah, smoochy, smoochy.
Exactly. Yeah. Oh, my God. Can you imagine two men kissing? What could be funnier?
Whose line is it anyway? No.
Brad Sherwood, we miss you.
Oh, man. Sherwood, give me wood.
Right? Chip Eston? Oh, my God. Laura Hall, get out of here. You're great.
Warhol, give me bowl.
Hey. Malibu Day. I love you.
I love you.
We love you. Malibu Day. Laura Hall, give me. Yeah, Laura Hall, give me ball. Yes, I pubes.